What is going on? This is Dylan with Dylan Talks Tone, and this is your weekly gear news update. Every Wednesday, we find as many news stories, new stuff coming out, stuff that just came out, and we tell you about it on the Gear News. That's what this is. Do me a favor, if you like guitar stuff, and I know you do because you're already here, hit the subscribe button because we have this on Wednesday, we have a live stream on Thursday that's a Q&A, super fun stuff. We also have your general guitar how-to, guitar nerd stuff on Monday. So 3 videos a week. Please hit the subscribe button. It's what we do. Okay, let's talk about some news. So Samsung. You don't typically hear about Samsung in the guitar business. They're like, you know, phones and laptops and TVs and stuff, right? At CES this year, which is actually starting today, I think, yes. This is December 5th. Wait, no, this is January 5th, 2022. It's next year. Okay, January 5th, 2022. I believe CES starts today. They've announced, and they're going to talk about it more, we don't have a lot of details, but Samsung came out with this guitar, I think it is called the Zamstar? Yes, the Zamstar. And it's going to have an app with it, and it's going to have a guitar. We don't really know about the specs of the guitar, but the important part of it is that the app and the guitar are going to work together to teach beginners to play guitar using LEDs in the fretboard. Now, we've seen gimmicky things that would like stick on the fretboard in the past, but this is kind of next level because it'll be cleaner. You know, Samsung stuff is usually very clean, very well engineered, very ergonomic. It's probably going to be pretty cool for a beginner guitar player. Now, if you are a more seasoned guitar player, you know, have more experience, you might think this is a little cheesy, but the idea of getting beginners into guitar playing, honestly, that's what this entire news this week is about, and I think this is very, very cool. So Ibanez this week has announced a bunch of new guitars, and we're going to start with their acoustics, 2 in specific that are under $500, very, very inexpensive. The AAD50 and the AAD50CE. Ibanez, you put way too many letters in all of your names. Just saying, you've been doing it a long time. Tone it down on the number of letters in the names. Anyway, these are Grand Dreadnought. So they're gonna be like a little bigger, like 5% bigger dreadnought size. So that's an interesting choice. They're gonna have a solid spruce top. Remember, we're talking about under $500 now. Under $500. Solid spruce top, an oakum neck, which that has been lately a more common material than like sapele or something. So this oakum thing has been coming up a lot, especially in less expensive guitars. Wood prices have been jumping around a lot. We're going to talk about it again later. So I can understand why they're trying to make different choices. At this price point, it's probably not going to make any difference at all. It's just going to make it affordable and really good and really stable. It's going to have a Purple Heart fretboard as well as a Purple Heart bridge, which is really a cool choice. They worked with bracing. They put a pickup in this thing, and I think it's probably going to be a great guitar, again, for under 500 bucks. They also came out with the CE version, so the AAD50CE, which is a cutaway version of the same guitar, more or less. This is going to be cool. I'm interested to see how these things feel, that bigger size, and how they sound. Because as an entry-level guitar with a solid spruce top, if you're shopping right now, this might be something to look into for what? Right around Squire Telly money? I mean, come on, pretty cool. Ibanez also announced a refresh of their kind of premium models. So the AZ Premium and the RG Premium. So we're talking about guitars in the range of, you know, from like $1,600 to $2,100. There's 6 new models. There's 3 new AZs and there's 3 new RGs. There's a lot of feature differences in these. You could dive into them very specifically, but the bottom line is kind of some of the bigger cool parts are that some of them have Seymour Duncan pickups in them. Some of them have DiMarzio pickups in them. They have neck-through bodies. The hardware is top shelf, ebony and rosewood fretboards. These things are pretty killer guitars, and of course they always have been, but these refreshes are pretty significant in the fact that some of these guitars used to have bolt-on necks and now they're neck-through, which is pretty crazy, as well as some of the other things. I would recommend that you look in the description below if we can find links to these things so you can look at them. Some of this stuff's not actually out yet, but if they're down there, check it out and look more into the details if this is your thing. Now, the really big news for the week is that PRS has announced the spec sheet for the PRS Silver Sky SE. Now, as you are probably aware, a lot of people for a long time have been wanting an SE, more affordable version of the PRS Silver Sky, because the Silver Sky is what, almost $2,600 now. And so trying to get something more affordable, I believe this guitar is going to hit the market at $849. So this is an extremely affordable guitar for what you're getting, I think. Let's talk about the specs. Number one, the body is poplar instead of alder on the expensive Silver Sky. This isn't going to make much of a difference to most people, but it makes a massive difference to the price of the guitar, because at this time, I did some cursory looking and some stuff yesterday in preparation for this, and found that poplar is about 30% cheaper than alder right now. That's a massive difference when you're looking at scale. So 30% cheaper than alder, it makes sense. It's about the same weight for volume. They can pick the wood properly so that most people wouldn't know. The thing with poplar is it's usually ugly, so you have to paint it. It can't have some kind of fancy finish on it, but these guitars are painted anyway. We'll get to the colors in a minute. But I wanted to kind of break down that particular spec, poplar versus alder. Most people won't know the difference when they're playing it. It'll be fine. The next major spec difference is going to be the radius of the fretboard. Now, a 7.5-inch radius on the expensive Silver Sky, 8.5-inch radius, which is an interesting choice, on the SE Silver Sky. Why did they do that? Probably, and this is just a speculation on my part, but I'm guessing that it's to stay as authentic as they can to the John Mayer spec, but as a more entry-level guitar, more people are going to feel more comfortable on a little bit flatter radius fretboard. I can understand why they didn't go all the way to a 10 or a 12, because that would completely change the feel of the guitar from the regular Silver Sky to the SE version. So I can see shooting the middle there a little bit, but making it a little bit easier to play and a little bit more comfortable for beginner, and for the, not beginner, but the entry level, the lower priced guitar. I can see the market that it's going to attract and why they would want that 8.5-inch radius fretboard. It's a weird number, but it does make sense in this context. When you look around the guitar, it's got pretty much all the same kind of stuff. They came up with a new set of pickups for this. Obviously, they're probably an import version of the American ones. Of course, they say that they went to a bunch of work to make it sound the same. So we'll have to see when we finally get our hands on one of these. I'm gonna try to get my hands on one. I would love to try this thing. Also, you can see a couple little things, like the truss rod cover is plastic instead of that inlaid kind of nice piece on the more expensive one. It does not have locking tuners. So they've made a couple of price concessions here, but I think this is gonna be a great guitar. The other thing is that the colors that they come in, the moon white, I don't remember all the names. The moon white, there's like a bluish, there's a greenish, there's a yellowish, like an Olympic whitish yellowish, and a red. None of them have any kind of metallic in them, so they're all like a pastel color, but that would make sense because it'd be cheaper to do. So, $850. My question to you is, were you interested in a Silver Sky before? And will you buy one now that you can get one for $850? Oh, and they're coming out next Tuesday, January 11th, 2022. Very, very soon. Are they going to be available right away? Are they going to be on back order? I don't know. But what I do know is I want one as soon as possible to try, because this is going to be an interesting guitar and where it fits in the marketplace. So when you think about what this is selling against right now, the Player Series Stratocaster from Mexico is almost exactly, or if not, the exact same price now because of price increases and stuff. The Player Series Strat, I think, is $850. So at that same price point, which one are you going to buy? Which one is going to be better workmanship wise and stuff? We don't know. Get in the comments and tell me what you think. This is a very interesting guitar and where it's placed in the price and construction. I don't know. I'm in. I want one. We'll have to see. Do me a favor, hit the like button and the subscribe button, and make sure you check out our live stream tomorrow night at Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Leslie and I are going to go over your questions from Patreon and from YouTube members, so check out those little buttons down there, as well as the links below where you can probably get most of this stuff. Some of this stuff this week's not out yet, so I might not have links for it, but I'll do the best I can. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you tomorrow.